So we've got the box in front of us now, as you can see. You've gone and picked yourself up a combat patrol. You've also picked up yourself up a character, a little bit of glue that I can see that we'll show you in a second, and actually some dice as well, which I wouldn't have recommended those, but
you did say afterwards that they were probably not the ideal ones.
Yeah.
But when I was looking on the website of where to buy from, I just thought, what can I do as like a little starter package? It was a box of dice. I know roughly how dice work in the theory of playing the game. But these are the dice. I now know that the option I went for was not ideal because of there's the little symbol of the skull on the dice, which I thought was quite nice for when you hit a 6. Turns out that the skull is not the 6, as it was pointed out to be by you in here. It means a 1.
Yeah.
So almost those dice are irrelevant now.
Yeah. Those dice, so anybody that is new to the hobby, if you're looking for dice, don't pick up the Warhammer dice. They're way more expensive than everywhere else for the amount that you get. And the skull isn't a 6, which confuses the living hell out of me. And I've been playing for a fair few years now. And anytime James uses them, anytime he rolls it, I'm like, oh, you've done really well. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you've got a bunch of 6s, and he's like, no, because every other dice set, and even every other dice set that Games Workshop sells, because you can get like Black Templar specific ones, has the 6 as the special logo symbol for the army.
Yeah, I think that's what I thought I was looking at, and then it turns out that it's not.
Yeah, we all make those mistakes.
Yeah.
That's
there we go.
the hobby. But yeah, the Black Templars, we'll go into a little bit of a lore, and then we'll dive into the boxes that you've got in front of you.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
So to start off with, before I kind of give you any kind of fill-in, anything that you might have either missed or that I think is the most important thing to be a Black Templar player.
Yeah.
You've had, what is it, a couple of weeks now while
doing
we
some research and some homework.
Yeah.
I watched a few YouTube videos, so one of the ones that you recommended, so Arbitery, and seen a lot of him. Also, by watching that, it then teed off a load of other videos of reading into the lore and listening to almost like podcasts of people reading out. So I've got a bit of an understanding as to how they've come about. So with their, with Sigismund, I remember that name coming up, who was the initial leader of them, who started the army, the chapter. And then how they are almost on a constant crusade for the Emperor. So whenever there's any kind of war, these are the guys that want to be the first ones there. So they'll always kind of turn up in their droves. And like I said, because there's so many of them, because they don't have a specific limit to how many there is, there can almost be too many of them. So I know that when they're finished with certain wars and planets, they leave a squadron behind to call on as and when they need to, and they'll just plan armies everywhere and then just put it all together. But I liked the idea behind them. It was definitely an interesting listen and read and learning about them. And there's still so much more I need to look into about all of the different ranks and the different characters and the commanders and stuff in it. But it's definitely been an interesting beginning.
I have to say, out of all of the chapters that you could have got, they are one of the better ones. There's a reason why they are so popular, and that's because they are just they're the baddest of the bad of all Space Marines. So you hit the nail on the head with Sigismund being the first guy that kind of he was like arguably one of the greatest Space Marines to ever grace the Space Marine, the Warhammer universe. When you get into any of the Horus Heresy stuff, he's a massive character. So he was pretty much one of Rogel Dawn's, who's the Primarch of the Imperial Fists. Which I don't know if you've seen it.
Teed into that kind of part of it, but I know that was where he started from and teed off from. But I need to probably look into more of their history to maybe understand his mentality as well. But that's later on.
They basically personify Rogal Dawn and the Emperor's Rage, really. They are the Emperor's Wrath, so to speak. They go in and they take no prisoners. They're like in sword and board, proper crusading across the galaxy, across the stars. Literally, just if they turn up, you know something's going to go down. Like, they do not care for anybody's rules whatsoever. So yeah, when the legions split up, Sigismund took over the Black Templars, and he was the first chapter master of the Black Templars. And when the Codex Astartes came about, they all just basically went, no. Why would we follow your rules when we can just...
we've got our own.
Yeah, we'll just do our own. And which gets them into trouble with the Inquisition quite a lot. So the Inquisition is part of the Imperium. Is like one of the hierarchies, basically like the police of the Imperium.
Okay, yeah.
Because they know that they're only supposed to have 1,000 Marines, but they really don't care. To that level where they literally turn around and the Inquisition will eradicate chapters over stuff like this, and they're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like they are, they are the bad boys. That's basically. I mean, to be fair, you pretty much they've got like you've hit the nail on the head with most of the basic lore. They have a massive grudge against the Orcs. I mean, they have a massive grudge against everybody, but the Orcs are like
notice that. Anyone that is a non-marine, non-humanoid kind of species. That's normally their target. They'll go after that, which is normal kind of enemies of the Marines anyway, the Imperium.
But they kind of take it to the extreme. So like, whereas most chapters have things called librarians, which are psychers, which is basically people with like, so akin to Star Wars to make it relevant. It's like people that can use the Force.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
They can shoot what everyone will call as mind bullets. They can use their mind to basically interact with other people and like cause damage and all that kind of stuff. They do not like them.
No,
you are so anti-psyker. So anytime they come across one, even if it's a normal human, they either just kill it or don't use it. They use it in their ships, but they don't treat them well, basically. Because they need psychers to be able to travel. So that's where it might get a little bit confusing if you ever see that. But that's just kind of, it is in the Codex, so you haven't actually got it here. You haven't bought it yet.
No.
That would be my next recommendation of your buy.
Dig
into that Codex. It's got a bunch of lore in there. That's really good for you. And then obviously it's got all the models, all the rules, everything like that. But start off with the Combat Patrol is a brilliant buy. But yeah, that's kind of really what you need to know to do Black Templars. You don't take Psychers, you don't like Psychers, you don't like any mutants, you don't like any Xenos, you basically don't like anybody. Unless you're a Black Templar, you
everybody else is enemy almost. I like the idea behind that, and also with a lot of these characters that I've looked at that were different, because they're a lot more close combat, like with the sword and shield kind of style as well. I feel like that's going to be interesting when it comes to actually playing with them, so they're not just going to be ranged or just shooting guns, they're getting up close and cutting people down. And I liked it reading that side of the combat when looking into these compared to some of the other ones as well, so I feel like that could be a decent style to play. It might not be, and you might be secretly laughing to yourself that why have you gone with them, because they're not going to be close combat kind of army, but
no, that's you're definitely in there with the close combat. And as far as gameplay goes, I will always maintain it's something that we will show hopefully more on the channel, and hopefully the second channel that we've got hopefully coming up is rule of call, play the game how you want to play it, narrative focus if you want to, competitive if you want to, but pick models and pick things that you like the look of, and go with it and roll with it, because that's going to be the most enjoyable for you rather than picking the most optimal list. Because you will see a bunch of that, which is when you go into the game side of what the best list is. You might want to take a few of those units, but if you're like, oh, this unit looks really cool, this is Frank. he's my Frank, and he's the best Frank there is, but he's a terrible unit in game. Just put Frank on the table, because you're going to have so much fun with Frank over like what would be the meta. Because unless you're playing in a tournament, I mean, even take Frank to a tournament and just go, this is Frank, and you're going to die to Frank, and everyone will be like,
I love the idea of that.
We want that. He like does nothing. But when you actually do kill people, then you get to laugh at them.
More of a win.
But yeah, going into the boxes. So you picked up some of the hobby glue, the plastic glue, which again, decent recommendation. I have my own recommendation for hobby glue, but any kind of works. You can use super glue, anything really. Any kind of tool like you've got that you can use. You don't need the fanciest stuff, to be honest. But yeah, then you've got the Combat Patrol as you've shown. If you want to,
so just up to the camera here.
And then you also picked up a Castellan.
There was, yes, a separate figure that I've seen as well is try and get the light off of that. So yeah, we have that there, which was something else I picked up. The place I bought it from was a place called D6 Dungeon, based in Newcastle. So when it came to buying these, obviously there's so many different places you can buy from, so many different prices. Ended up going with someone which is what I found was the cheaper price. The delivery was fairly quick, so it turned up within 3 days of purchasing as well. So I definitely recommend them. I'm sure you could probably put the link in the description to send some traffic to their website. But obviously anybody...
Not sponsored, by the way.
No. It's just a website that I found whilst doing my research of somewhere to buy from, and obviously anyone that's local to the Newcastle area, head in and have a little look. From what I've seen of their shop, they look like they've got a decent setup there as well. Yeah.
But if for instance you either don't want to use that, or you want to actually go in somewhere in person, Warhammer shops are great. And they're great for people, but I also recommend, especially if you are new, try and find a friendly local game store, like you've almost found with the D6 Den, because they're going to be better on price from games workshops. And again, you're creating a community there, which is actually really important in the hobby, to be fair. But yeah, let's jump into the boxes. Starting off, we'll kind of leave the Castellan as is. He's in this package. I'll let you open him in your own time, but he's kind of that model. We can have a look at all the sprues and stuff. You've not opened anything yet, have you?
No, not looked at a single thing other than the box art, which looks pretty cool. I've not opened anything as yet.
Yeah, so in the Combat Patrol, I'm just going to read it off the back rather than memorising it. You've got your Emperor's Champion, which is the character in the Combat Patrol. So Combat Patrols it's a separate game mode. As well, so you can play this straight out box. Rules are free, which is all really good.
Thought of.
So you've got your Emperor's Champion, you've got your Blade Guard Veterans, a Sword Brethren, and a Crusader Squad, which is for what is in this box, especially for Black Templars, is a very good starting point. Emperor's Champion as a character in game is really good, really strong, and you're kind of going to want one anyway. Definitely. The Blade Guard really fit into the kind of Black Templar theme. And then the Crusader Squad and the Sword Brethren Squad are Black Templar specific units, so only Black Templars can take them, and the Emperor's Champion only Black Templars can take them. The Blade Guard are the only things that normal Space Marines can take. So for this book, as most people will know, you have to get the codex to play most of the rules, unless you online
I mean,
somewhere.
we'll come to that later on. But the next thing to look at is get the book, and then we'll start looking at how I would actually play with them.
But on top of that, depending on what units you want to get, as a caveat, if you play Space Marines, there's a tax on Space Marines, which everybody knows about. If you've been where you have to almost get 2 books. So the Blade Guard rules won't be in the Black Templar book. Only the Black Templar units will be in the Black Templar book. So you would need the Codex Space Marines to play with the Black Templars in a normal game. In Combat Patrol, you won't. They'll be there.
They'll be in there.
But the rules are slightly different.
Okay.
So that's just something to kind of keep in mind when you're building a list. If you get the Black Templar book and you only buy Black Templar units, you're all good to go.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But if you wanted anything else, that's
ones,
generic Space Marine, because you can take everything, you need that kind of...
Yeah. That was something I did look into, where there was certain Space Marine units which were interchangeable to each army. So like the Terminator ones, I think was one.
Yeah,
Intercessors.
You're lucky. So I've the Terminators have a Black Templar specific data sheet.
Yeah.
So each unit in this box has what's called a data sheet.
Yeah.
Attached to it. So that's basically all just the rules of that.
Yeah.
Some of them, fortunately, for Black Templars, have got their own versions of the generic ones.
Okay. Yeah.
So they are slightly different. So the Black Templars have their own Black Templars Terminators, which is fortunate for you. So if you did want to get Terminators, you wouldn't necessarily have to get the second book for that. Yeah. It is a bit annoying how they do that, but it kind of just...
If it's the way of how it is.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole discussion that we can get into, and everybody kind of gets into over the whole of YouTube is, well, most of the rules free, because like you've just started this hobby. Yeah. The book itself for the Space Marine book is not a cheap book, and the Black Templars one is smaller because it's a supplement. So it's obviously to supplement the Space Marine one. Yeah. But yeah, on the box, any units that kind of stand out for you? What's your initial thoughts?
Instantly, obviously the Emperor's Champion, just the design of how his character is, almost in a He-Man kind of pose, with his sword aloft, you know, the thing blowing in the wind behind him. It looks like such an iconic pose, almost statuesque. Yeah. So that was the instant one that caught me. And obviously then you've got Blade Guard veterans who look badass with their swords, shields as well. I mean, ultimately, when I'm looking at all of them, with the different setups that you've got, where they've either got the swords and the guns, or the swords and the shield, every single one of them look badass. Yeah. Is probably the best way I could describe it. But like I said, instantly, when I first looked, Emperor's Champion, just the whole design of that character and how he looks, just looks so picturesque, and it's just
he's like, he is such a good character. So the Emperor's Champion, funny enough, is just a regular dude. So it can be anybody. Before a battle, he essentially has a vision from the Emperor that he's the chosen one. They give him this black sword, and his job is to go and kill characters. Essentially, he's like, I want the head,
almost like a hitman.
Yeah, I want the head of their warlord, and he will just charge for that, because he's chosen by the Emperor, and he is the Emperor's Champion. He is the guy who's going to go through and then you Blade Guard veterans. They are, as in the name, they are veterans. They are the sword and board, as we like to say, version of. So there's a couple of different types of units. Very strong in game, and again, like I said, they are really cool models. All of them. Pretty much the same as your Sword Brethren. So Sword Brethren are your Black Templar version of essentially veterans as well. Yeah.
Because they have like a ranking within the army, isn't it? Obviously, you've got to get to a certain ranking, and then you kind of become the veteran from the Brethren, and then
so you with your Black Templars, you have neophytes, then you have your Crusaders, and then you have your Sword Brethren. Yeah. Veterans, essentially, all in that kind of and then obviously your Crusader squad, which has your neophytes in. So you can see in the box. I don't know if you want to show the guys as well. There's a couple of people in there that have a little bit less armor. You see, like they kind of are your neophytes.
So there's a few there without like helmets on and arms exposed and stuff like that. So
they're what would be, so in your normal Space Marines they have scouts. They're essentially like the first step in a Space Marine. They're the newbies. Yeah. Do you want to crack the box open?
Yeah, let's.
The sprue for the first time.
Let's get into it.
I literally hasn't opened the box at all.
Not at all.
We didn't have a knife set up anywhere, which
not at all.
Planned ahead to do because
which would have been ideal for this, or maybe I've had it for a couple of days now and not even been tempted immensely to have a little look, but I figured it would be a journey for all of us.
Yeah.
As soon as I can get the sticky bit off,
we may have to cut.
I got it. Okay, right, we're rolling. So here we go. Make sure I'm not going to open it and things fall out now. Yeah, okay, we're right. So, you want to take that? Okay. So there's quite a lot to take in.
Mm-hmm.
If you can see from either camera angle, the up close or the wide shot. So there's a lot here. This is just one of the many sprues, you call them?
Yeah, sprues.
And wow, okay. I don't know what I was expecting. I knew that there was some sort of construction involved in it, but when there's so many tiny little bits,
mm-hmm.
I'm glad I've got the glue, because
mm-hmm.
I'm going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting there to be so many smaller pieces. Every single interchangeable bit, even down to the heads, which I don't know if you can see the camera there, is so many different ones to choose from and pick up. And that's literally one of probably 12, and that's one of the smaller ones, because then there are ones which are like this big, again double the size of the one I had in here, and there's so many tiny little bits on each one, so this is going to be interesting and intricate.
Yep.
Is the way I would describe that.
Yep.
Damn.
So a couple of things that I'd recommend for anybody at home and you to potentially get.
Yeah.
So obviously there's the stuff to build all of the models, like you've got your glue clippers, hobby knife, just to get rid of any kind of mould lines or little bits.
Yeah, I can see where obviously I've got like some snips as recommended by yourself to use, but I can see where there's going to be little spurs left over, or it's like a little file or something almost.
And you can get sanding paper. You can also get things like just use a nail file or something.
Just to take the roughness off.
Because they just show up when you are painting. It's you can spend a lot of time prepping it, or a little time prepping it. It's really up to you. You kind of just want to get those big chunks of plastic mainly off. The other thing that I would recommend, which in fairness we could probably do a hobby recommendation video at some other point with yourself,
definitely,
is I have quite a lot now, but essentially boxes from I get them from the range most of the time, which has got loads of individual little sections in. So when you're cutting out the sprues, you can basically take all of the bits off and put them into those sections.
I feel like that would be a good idea, because what I would probably want to do is take all of the pieces off of this, but so that I don't lose them, is have a little, like a little box to put them in. So obviously there's all of the heads. You can
separate the heads.
There's, I'm just looking now, I can see there's arms with weapons in, arms with a hand with a finger pointing on it, an arm without a hand, and then separate little bits that you can put on. So I would probably want somewhere that I could keep them in some kind of order, because there's so many on each one, so different options to put. So I would need somewhere so that I don't just take one off and leave the rest on here to leave in the box. That would definitely be something I'd look into. But we'll go through some of the instructions now.
Sure. Yeah. Just so you can kind of have a look, because there's one thing looking at the screen. What I would recommend always when you get any kind of model just look through the instructions as
Yeah.
you can. Because there are some that will potentially come, so on the sprue, it might have like a part that, because you get options, one person could take and another person could also take it, but they've only got one part to it.
Okay,
And you kind of need to kind of have a look.
Like separate, like almost build them without building them.
Yeah. What I tend to do is I circle the guys that I want to build, and as I'm going through them. So, for instance, even just, you don't mind me folding it, yeah. This guy here, you've got the two options to build. So when you show the camera, the good thing about the Combat Patrol, if you are building it for Combat Patrol, there is a little tab that says Combat Patrol on it. So that's how you do the Combat Patrol build.
Yeah.
So the one with
you can already see the one with two different hands, one with guns and stuff. So you've got one with a sword, one with an axe, one with a gun, one with
the really good
hand.
thing about Space Marines, and this is something that I will let you in on a little secret early, is most of the parts are interchangeable. Yeah. So, especially with the arms, so for instance, when we go through the book a little bit, when you get to the Blade Guard, you could swap out their sword arm for one of the axes that's in this box, for instance.
Yeah.
And because you essentially, at the start of the game, say either what it is, as long as you can either WYSIWYG it, which is what you see is what you get, or it's on the data card to say power weapon. That doesn't specify that it's a sword, axe, mace.
Oh, okay. Like so it's just within that bracket of whatever is on the character.
Yeah. So you can kind of customise the figure and the characters as you want, or you can build them as is. To start off with, it's easier to build as is. But if you do kind of fancy putting a little, it's putting a little bit of flavour and spin into.
I suppose your own interpretation of what you think looks better and what is more suitable to your style, I guess. Isn't it? Which I guess as I move forward and start doing more of myself, I will probably find a certain style that I like or certain look.
Yeah. Because you might be like, I really like swords. I'm a Black Templar, or I really like axes. So I'm going to go axe for everyone. And then you might go, oh, I'm a Blade Guard Veteran, need an axe rather than a sword, or like a mace or whatever.
But even just looking through this now, you can see all of the different interchangeable bits, different poses, and whatever pose you have in, the different options you've got for putting them in that pose.
Yeah.
Whether arm up, arm down, arm across, whether you have a gun in it, whether there's a sword in it, whether there's a shield in it, an axe.
Yeah.
So there's so many different options that you've got for each individual figure.
And there are a lot of pieces as well that you can leave off. So there's these things called purity seals. They'll be on a lot of the models.
Yeah.
They normally come at the end as like a big box with basically saying you can use these.
Yeah.
You don't kind of have to put everything on. So you can leave them as blank or as detailed as you want.
Yeah.
The more detailed you kind of have them, the more you're going to want to paint. Really, that's the kind of payoff. Because when you put them on, if you paint them just black, there would have been no point to put it on there. If you paint them.
They need to stand out essentially, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the instructions go, what are you kind of perceiving from them? Are they?
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to take in. Obviously, I think I would need to probably set aside a good half an hour or so to read through each individual figure of the different ranks in here as well, because there's so many different options. Again, with which arm, which hand, which weapon is. I need to get a little bit more of an understanding between each. What weapon brings to the game is essentially, but what I might do is just start making one of each kind of design to then see what they're like to paint, see how they look when they're painted, see how they look when they're built, and just try and do one of each different stylization rather than making one and sticking with it and then finding later on that I like the look of one of the other ones afterwards, but I'm out of figures and out of bits.
Yeah.
So I'll look to try and do that and try and keep them as interchangeable as possible. Is a lot of variation in there as well.
Blue tack is your friend as well. So when you cut out the models.
Oh, okay. So like a pre-glue.
Yeah. Always,
that.
always dry fit is what the term is.
Dry
is
fit, okay, yeah.
If you can build it without putting glue on it, you can see how it kind of looks. And you can see what pose you want if you wanted different weapon options. I also would suggest with a lot of combat patrols, they start with the character and then they move through the book.
Yeah.
As in like the instructions. So here, who was the first guy? Was it the Emperor's Champion or was it Crusader Squad or who's the...
Yeah, so Crusader Squad came up first, it looks like.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, go through what would be the easiest character to build, or the easiest model to build, and then work. No, Emperor's Champion.
Emperor's Champion. Yeah,
Start
the page was just
start off with what is essentially the easiest model, and then work your way up.
I suppose he's only going to have the one pose, really, isn't he?
Yeah. But for instance, what I'd say is like, so for instance, you've got in your Crusader Squad, you've got your neophytes, which you could potentially do as your first build, because if you want your Emperor's Champion to almost look perfect, obviously to whatever degree you want it to be, if you're cutting out for the very first time, you don't want to potentially make that mistake. You can make that mistake on
that makes
something
sense.
That's a bit more of a kind of thing, rather than like this is going to be your flagship model.
Yeah, exactly. That would almost be the one to perfect at the end, isn't it, so to speak?
There are kits out there that are push fit. If you are starting out, they're very easy to kind of put together. I don't know if the Castellan is or not. I've never built that kit, in fairness. But there are kits that are push fit that you kind of don't need any glue, so you can always try and find some of those out. First, just to kind of have a look if you wanted something to paint. If you are brand new to the hobby, like yourself, you can go to a Warhammer store, and they will let you paint a model. But it is at the moment, because we're in 10th, it's an Infernus Marine, and I think he's got an Ultramarine logo on his shoulder that you can't take off unless you cut it off. And I don't know if they let you paint anything other than Ultramarines in the Warhammer store, which is a bit sucky. So you can't go in and go, I want to start and I want to paint Black Templars, and they go, this is how you paint Black Templars. I don't
It's something we can maybe look into and find the nearest store and go and ask a question, I guess, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because we do kind of want to have a bit of a plan of a trip to Warhammer World, because fortunately enough, we live in the Midlands, so we're not too far away. To kind of blow your mind with that. And if I've only seen a few pictures that you've shown me, and already it's such a vast array of different scenes and setups that, I mean, if you'd have taken me there a couple of weeks ago before even knowing what I'm looking at, I'd have probably still been blown away just from the sheer scale of some of the figures that I've seen in the scenes that are set up. But now, understanding a bit more of what I'd be looking at, I feel like I'd be able to appreciate it a bit more, and have a bit more of an understanding of what I'm looking at, rather than just being in awe of what I'm looking at, understanding what I'm looking at, and then probably be more in awe of what I'm looking at. So
And as far as painting goes, I don't know if you've had a look yet. What you kind of want to do. That's a complete minefield. So there's different ways that you can go about it. A lot of people will show you box art standard, which is obviously name on the tin, what's on the box. You can either go for that, or you can kind of. I always suggest to people to find what you like and find your own kind of style. If that becomes box art, brilliant. Like that's.
I think for the first couple, I will aim to do the style of what is viewed as a Black Templar. And then maybe even for the whole of this set, and then when it comes to maybe when I do the Castellan or when I do some additional figures, is just see if I can try a different style. Or if I end up doing this and I'm happy with how it looks and I get used to a paint in a certain way, then I'm more likely to stay with that rather than trying to mix it up.
There are other tools out there, like you can, as in with everything, go on YouTube, and there are vast Black Templar paint schemes that you can try and have a look at. So it might be worth as research for yourself to kind of see either what paints you want to get. Christmas has just come about, and I did already get you the Black Templar contrast paint, didn't I? And Evil Sun Scarlet Red what is the what, in my opinion, one of the best reds that Citadel do.
Yeah,
And
the black and the red. I mean, when you look at the design here,
yeah.
the contrast of the red stands out so vividly against the black armour as well. So I feel like I would definitely use that quite a lot. And like I said, the bag is just over there. If you wanted to grab it, I can show the camera the two little pots that you did pick up. So we have here, so yeah, nice little bag design. So you have the initial Black Templar black, which I will show to this camera, as well as the red. I'll get it on the right way. I'll show to the camera. And I'm looking forward to using that red. Just from the look of the outside of the tin, it looks so bright. So almost, you know, it's like as if you got the bag specifically, because it would match the red. I do like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting involved in looking what I need to get is an additional thing from here, but there's definitely a white that I would need to get.
Yeah.
Along those lines as well.
Yeah. So this is where you get into, there's about 1 million paints that you could get for each army and each thingy, because you've got tan colours in there that you might want to have. You've got genuinely what I would suggest to do is do a little bit of digging on YouTube for people's schemes, because even in the box art, because there's recommendations. I don't know if they still do them on recommendations on these boxes, I believe, or there's paint recommendations of what Citadel say or Warhammer say to do.
You mean,
but they aren't what they've used. Okay. So this will go. There's like 6 colours that you need to buy. Yeah.
But then you watch someone else do it. They use about 400.
They haven't used this. Yeah. So the Heavy Metal team, which is the team that do all of the, everybody knows it's a secret that everybody knows that they don't use the box art colours that they sell. They use whatever they want to get because the quality of those you could get potentially with them, but in all like you're not going to get that quality from those colours. So that's why I always recommend. There's a guy that actually I would say to watch is Eons of Battle. Does Black Templars as one of the YouTube that I watch as a recommendation. If you are getting to Black Templars, he has a paint scheme on there which actually I think is quite easy to follow.
One I'll look into then.
Yeah. So you looking forward to get started?
Yeah, man. Let's get to it.
Yeah. So hopefully this will be like a series. We get going. We can follow along on your journey. We're in 10th edition at the moment. We've just started 2026, which means that it's almost one of the best times to get into Warhammer because the edition's coming to an end, which is a new one coming out. So there'll be a new rule set to learn. So we can almost get these models painted, built for that new edition, and then we can basically teach you all the rules from get-go, where everybody's going to be starting from scratch anyway. So the base core mechanics of the game will probably be the same, but you kind of don't get completely bogged down and then have to learn a new rule set. So
that does make sense.
We can get that painted and built. And
see where we get to.
Yeah,
man. Get to it.
But thank you very much for watching, guys. Stick around. All of our socials are down below, and we've linked as Kev said earlier, we've linked the description to the shop where we got it from. Please stick around. If you like any of the videos, please thumbs it up. Give us a comment on what army you're painting. If you are new to the hobby, if there's any recommendations or anything that you want to know, obviously just drop us down a note down below, and we'll try and get a video on there for yourselves. We've been the Average Painters, and bye for now.